Welcome to Signature TV News. I am Barry Kumo Ado. In the headlines, federal government urges states and local governments to scale up environmental surveillance against cholera outbreak. Former local government chairman in Rivers State embark on protest in defiance of police warning. On the foreign scene, 22 people reported dead and 8 injured in a battery plant fire in South Korea. In sport, Rangers smile home with a giant trophy and 150 million naira after winning the 2023-2024 NPFL. Details in a moment. The federal government has urged states and local governments to scale up environmental health surveillance in places where food and drinks are sold nationwide. The Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Isiaq Salako, in a statement on Monday in Abuja, listed such places to include markets, garages, schools, restaurants, stadia, religious and sporting event venues. Salako emphasized that the measures will help avert further spread and transmission of cholera, as well as aid in the prevention and control of the disease. He also urged all commissioners for environment and local government chairpersons to support environmental health officers across the country to step up sanitation and hygiene activities through enhanced community-led total sanitation. The minister said that arrangements have been made to support most affected states with chlorine solution or tablets, water and food testing resources to avert further transmission across the country. Cholera outbreak, as a seasonal public health issue in Nigeria, occurs annually, mostly during the rainy season, and often in areas with poor sanitation and hygiene practices. The Ebonyi State government says the state has not recorded any confirmed death from suspected cholera cases. The Commissioner for Health, Dr. Moses Ekuma, will disclose this in an interview in Abakaliki, said that the state currently has 38 suspected cases. Ekuma said that the ministry, in collaboration with relevant agencies, were closely monitoring the situation and are taking proactive steps to forestall any outbreak in the state. He said the state has inaugurated a technical working group on the issue while increasing the training and retraining of health personnel for emergency responses and enlightenment campaign on the citizens on precautionary measures while the health facilities are on alert to handle emergent situations. The commissioner warned the citizens against engaging in open defecation, assured that the government is working in synergy with sister ministries of water resources, environment, among others, to ensure that adequate water is supplied to the citizens and the environment kept clean. He urged the citizens to report suspected cases to nearby health facilities and not engage in self-medication. The Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, wants President Bola Tinubu to resolve the lingering issue of a minimum wage of Nigerian workers and address the pending issue with the Academic Staff Union of Universities before it snowballs into another major crisis. The NUJ, in a 17-paragraph communique issued at the end of its quarterly meeting in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, stressed the need for the government to look into the recommendations of a joint labor committee on the new national minimum wage. NUJ President Chris Isiguzo, who addressed newsmen, said the 62,000 naira minimum wage approved by the federal government was not in reality with the present economic situation in Nigeria. Isiguzo warned the security agents and politicians against further attacks on its members nationwide, saying the union can no longer tolerate attacks on its members, either by security agents or politicians. The communique also frowned at the lingering insecurity across the nation, especially kidnapping and violent crimes in the southeast, insurgency in the northeast, banditry in the northwest, and rising militancy in the south-south and other parts of the country. Enugu State Polytechnics, Iwolo, is reaching out to all lovers of education in the state to join it in its educational summit stated for Saturday, the 29th day of June 2024, designed to ensure well-trained and indoctrinated citizens of Nigeria. The rector, Reverend Father Nnamdi Nwankwo, who addressed a press conference in Enugu on Monday, stated that the summit is aimed at producing well-trained citizens. Signature TV correspondent Ebenezer Odo reports.
The rector, Reverend Father Nnamdi Nwankwo, who was accompanied on the occasion by key officers of the polytechnics, including the deputy rector, Sabasinu, they said the aim of the conference is to highlight the institution's forthcoming educational summit slated to hold at Agobu, Iwolo on Saturday this week. Father Nwankwo, who recalled that the institution was originally meant to be a college of agriculture, but was changed to a polytechnic, noting with joy that all its programs have been accredited.
The theme of the conference, the general theme, is Enugu State Polytechnics Iwolo Education Summit. But the title remains Transforming Education and Building a Legacy for ESPOLY. ESPOLY means Enugu State Polytechnics.
He explained that the school is set to key into the state government's smart education project to further deepen it in the state. The rector further explained that Senate Minority Whip Ositambu is partnering with the institution to give the people of Enugu West Senatorial Zone sound education and called on others to buy into the initiative.
To achieve this smartness, which is common now, which is a common language, smart school, to bring innovation, skill acquisition, and sustainable education to the school system, but also to initiate partnership with all individuals, with all organizations, and with all stakeholders in Enugu State to achieve this lofty goal of the school.
Senate Minority Whip Senator Ositangu fully identified with the project as his media advisor Luke Mbo graced the event. Mbo, in his remarks, recalled numerous achievements and contributions of the senator to his people, assuring that he will collaborate with the school fully.
Senator Ostongu is collaborating with the Enugu State Polytechnic to see that our students, that is students from Enugu West Senatorial District, students from Enugu State and Nigeria at large, are empowered academically in a wonderful environment so as to make them better and effective to the Nigerian society.
The school is inviting philanthropists from across the state and beyond, as well as stakeholders in the education sector, to identify fully with the Education Summit. In Enugu, Ebenezer Odo, Signature TV News.
The former chairman of 21 out of the 23 local government areas in Rivers State staged protest on Monday at their various council areas, despite a warning by the State Police Command against such protest. The former council bosses loyal to the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, protested in their council areas, waving placards with inscriptions asking the police to continue occupying the council headquarters. In Buguma, the council headquarters of Asaritori local government area, former chairman Onengio Freddy George, alongside his supporters, marched through the streets of the town as they gyrated to songs in Wike's solidarity. The protest also almost turned violent at Asaritori local government area when some men believed to be operatives of Asari Dokubo's private military company known as Amama Soldiers attempted to attack the protesters, but they were swiftly restrained by policemen who were on ground. Similar demonstrations were also carried out at Abonima, the Akukutori local government area council headquarters, where some persons staged a protest backing the continued closure of the council premises by the police. The police took over the 23 local government area council secretariats of the oil-rich state last Tuesday, following a crisis that erupted over the 3-year tenure expiration of a former chairman, resulting in 3 deaths. Scores of residents from communities along the Ibadan-Iwo Road staged a peaceful protest at Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company IBEDC office in Ibadan on Monday to press home their demands. The residents who stormed the IBEDC office in the early hours of Monday staged a protest against erratic supply of electricity to their communities. The blocked part of Ibadan-Iwo Road, which is a major route that links Ibadan in Oyo State with Iwo in Osun State. They decried what they described as poor electricity supply to their communities, including Olodo, Monatan, Alabebe, Iyana Church, Laputon, Ejioku, Iyana Ofa, Adeleye, Lagun. IBEDC was forced to close the office to prevent a breakdown of law and order. The police have deployed additional armed security personnel to the Kofa Kudu Palace, residence of Emir Malam Muhammadu Sanusi, and the Nasarawa Mimi Palace, resident of Emir Aminu Bayero, who are involved in the ongoing Kano Emirship tussle. The outgoing Commissioner of Police, Usani Gumel, who confirmed this in a telephone interview with a news agency of Nigeria on Monday, said armed personnel have been deployed to handle any unforeseen circumstances around the identified areas. Gumel appealed for public support and urged residents to provide information that could aid in maintaining peace, progress, and political stability in the metropolis and the state. He said the command is committed to providing the required security that will enable all residents to pursue their legitimate activities without threats to life and property. A Russian missile attack on southern Ukraine city of Odessa struck a storage facility and wounded at least 3 people on Monday. Regional governor for the area, Oleg Kipa, said on national television that around 5,000 square meters had been damaged in the attack and that a fire had spread over 3,000 square meters. Military and regional authorities said the attack damaged a storage facility where some 50 people were working, while the Air Force said it had prevented 1 of 2 cruise missiles launched by Russia from reaching Odessa. Odessa has been a frequent target of Russian forces in a 28-month-long full-scale invasion, but Russia denies targeting civilians or civilian infrastructure. 22 people were confirmed dead and 8 others injured in South Korea's battery plant fire on Monday. The Chinese embassy in South Korea confirmed that 18 Chinese citizens were among those killed in the fire, which broke out at a primary battery plant in Hwasong, around 45 kilometers south of the capital Seoul. Kim Jin-young, a local fire station officer, said in a televised briefing that rescue workers retrieved the bodies of 21 missing factory workers who had failed to escape through stairs after the fire broke out. Ahead of a search operation inside the ill-fated plant, 1 worker died after having been found in cardiac arrest. 2 others were seriously wounded, while 6 suffered minor injuries such as smoke inhalation. 1 worker remained unaccounted for, but it was not clear whether the worker had been trapped inside the factory or simply not reached, according to the fire officer. Chinese President Xi Jinping held a welcome ceremony for visiting Polish President Andrzej Duda at a square outside the east gate of the Great Hall of the People in Beijing on Monday afternoon. The 2 presidents stepped onto a reviewing stand and a military band played the national anthems of the 2 countries with a 21-gun salute fired from the Tiananmen Square. Accompanied by Xi, Duda then reviewed the Guard of Honor of the People's Liberation Army and watched the march past. On invitation of Xi, Duda, who arrived in Beijing on June 22nd, is on a state visit to China, which is scheduled to end on June 26. Poland is among the first countries to recognize the People's Republic of China in 1949. This year marks the 75th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties between China and Poland. Princess Anne, King Charles' younger sister, is in hospital after suffering a head injury on Sunday. Buckingham Palace said the royal was expected to make a full recovery from the incident, which was believed to have involved a horse. The palace said on Monday that the 73-year-old, the only daughter of the late Queen Elizabeth, had suffered minor injuries and concussion following the incident, and she was now recovering at Southmead Hospital in Bristol, West England. A royal source, the princess, had been working in the grounds of Gattercombe Park Estate, where her home is located, when she suffered minor injuries to her head. Her husband, Tim Lawrence, accompanied Anne to hospital, and her two children, Zara Tyndall and Peter Phillips, were also in the estate at the time. The Flying Antelopes, the Rangers International Football Club of Enugu, on Sunday at the New Jos Stadium in Plateau State, defeated the Gombe United Football Club 2-1 in the last league encounter of the Nigeria Premier League Football League NPFL season. The Enugu club side amassed a total of 70 points to be crowned champions before an appreciative crowd that had the governors of Enugu and Plateau State, Peter Mba and Caleb Mufwang, in attendance. Two of the goals in the third and 70 minutes of a highly entertaining encounter of the boots of Kazim Ogunleye and Gordon Obaje put Rangers in the lead, while the host reduced the tally in the 25th minute through Sayad Abubakar. Enugu State Governor Peter Mba, his Plateau State counterpart Caleb Mufwang, and business mogul Chief Arthur Eze enjoyed the scintillating encounter and were involved in the presentation of a giant trophy and prize money of 150 million naira to Rangers. With the victory and trophy presentation, Rangers have extended their league triumphs to 8 and will represent the country in the CAF Champions League next season. In a post-match chat, Coach Fidelis Lechuku said it was a great day for all of them in Rangers and gave God all the glory, describing the triumph as victory for the government and people of Enugu State, who supported the team through thick and thin till they achieved victory. He said the team will get a few legs to add to the team to enable it to prosecute both domestic and continental honors next season effectively. And elsewhere, at the Enyimba International Stadium in Aba, Abia State, the Enyimba Football Club defeated visiting Plateau United FC of Jos 2-0 to pick a ticket to play in the 2024-2025 CAF Confederation Cup competition. Chijio Kemboma opened scoring for the hosts in the 77th minute to give hope to the team's supporters, while Alade Balogun made it 2-0 in the 87th minute to seal the win for Enyimba and ensure they finished third on the log with 63 points behind Remo Stars, who had 65 points. In a post-match interview, Plateau United's goalkeeper trainer, Cornelius Copa, said the match could have gone either way, saying his team came prepared to win. Mboma, who ended the match and season as NPFL highest goal scorer with 17 goals, said he felt great to have achieved the feat. Germany's players were pleased to come away as group winners in what they call an important game for their self-belief. It was striker Niklas Füllkrug who came off the bench to grab an equalizer against Switzerland and sent Germany through to the last 16 top of the group after being 0-1 down until the final minutes. Füllkrug struck with a trademark torrent header in the second minute of stoppage time at the end of the game to make it 1-1 and spared the blushes of the host, who enjoyed plenty of possession but struggled to get shots on target against the Swiss defense. Germany topped the group on 7 points, with Swiss second on 5 and Hungary third on 3 points, with Scotland finishing bottom of the group with a single point. The Germans will find out their last 16 opponents on Tuesday when England meets Slovenia and Denmark plays Serbia to complete Group C, with the second-place team in that group set to meet the Germans in Dortmund, June 29. That's the news. I am Barry Kumo Ado. Thanks for watching.